Alright man, just so finishing up the showcases for the 3 new characters, today we're here to check out the new BAMBIETTA, who at least from our community post seems to be the most popular of the 3 new characters. Listen, I saw a lot of people hating on the new banner because we're getting another BAMBIETTA, yet it looks like to the majority of you lot, this is the character we wanted the most. Either way though, checking out BAMBIETTA, she is once more another amazing character. Just like Kilgay, these characters for just a basically normal end of month banner, you know, not tied to an anniversary or anything, are absolutely crazy. And if this is going to be the standard going forward to every new 1000-year Blood War banner, I can only imagine what we're going to get like next year. So having a look at BAMBIETTA's damage output, her soul trait is damage inflicted at full stamina plus 30%. Really good soul trait for herself and a link, and you can pair that with Fierce Battle Renji to get 60% more damage at full stamina. But alongside that, she has a built-in Berserker value, Frenzy plus 2, so it looks like that's essentially the norm nowadays, with also the fact that when you do inflict a stat ailment, you get an 80% SP boost, and keep in mind she does have an increased chance to inflict stat ailments, so strong attack damage is not going to be an issue. Even though she doesn't have a conventional PvE killer, only having Captain, it's not really going to stop her from where you want to use her. Because at least in Inheritance Trials, where damage really does matter, you're constantly inflicting stat ailments, and that's going to help you get through the Iron Skin ability. But even then, the damage output she's dishing out, regardless of inflicting stat ailments or not, is already high to begin with. But one unique thing about this character is that she is a nuker, a more conventional nuker for the Captain Killer Guild quest. And the reason for that is because she has Devastation plus 60, on top of Bombardment plus 1, on top of the fact that she has Weakened Defense built in, so you can stack that twice, on top of doing 40% more damage to burning enemies, on top of the fact that you also have the Spiritual Pressure boost. This character is now, I believe, the hardest hitting soul bomb in the entire game, which is insane. And even if you're like me, who has a 1 out of 5, you're probably still able to nuke the Captain Killer Guild quest because of how hard a soul bomb does actually hit. And that's essentially the main thing about this BAMBIETTA, just good utility with the increased chance to inflict stat ailments, but just really good damage on a soul bomb and also strong attack damage. And to go along with that, these are the accessories that we will be using: a Fortification Pill, Cape Fastener, and Quincy Cross. For the soul traits, we're going to use a mixture of recharge and strong attack damage, and of course also recharge and full stamina. Bonus abilities include full stamina damage and also long strides, but if we ever do take it into epic raids or guild quests, we're going to switch out that long stride for weakened defense. So with that said, let's try out the new BAMBIETTA. Alright then, so jumping into a quest, first up, let's quickly showcase her strong attack, because she is a very interesting SA2. Her SA1 is going to be a Vacuum Vortex in front of her, really fast activation time, and I do like the visuals of it. This character was limited on what Kev could do with her, since her fight with Sergeant in Season 1 is literally like 10 seconds. Her SA3 is a full screen, again, it comes out really quick, and then the most interesting part about this character is the SA2, which is a 960 airweave in front of her, but as you can see, it has its own gauge to it, and it's an attack that can go off for like, what, 2 or so seconds? Now, the magnification for the attack itself is 80%. A usual strong attack, I believe, is 120. So the first initial hit of this SA2 is weaker than a normal attack. If any enemy gets hit by it more than once or twice, you're then doing more damage than a normal strong attack. So it has some really good damage potential. If you get every single hit off, which to be fair, no enemy in single player content can actually last this attack or take enough hits from this attack. Shout out to Hemmer, by the way. The attack itself is essentially the equivalent of almost 3 strong attack freeze, which is really impressive. And that's the idea for this character, right? She is clearly going to be good enough in any content you put her against. I took a bit of damage there, so we lost a bit of DPS. This character does want to stay at full stamina, keep that in mind. And you can see we can cancel out of the SA2 as well, right? That's one big thing, because you technically are locked in place. As you see, if I try and move, I can't move, but I can flash step out of it anytime I want to. So if we kill a wave, we can just move out of it. So in my opinion, as of right now, I do see this SA2 as an upgraded 960, which is already in and of itself a really good strong attack too. But let's go here, use our SA2 there. You can see it's pretty much a boss killer. This character wants to be used in guild quests, epic raids, and that's where that SA2 in particular is going to be really good. You position yourself well in the Captain Killer guild quest, you're pretty much going to hit almost any wave that does spawn in, and of course in epic raids where the boss is stationary, that SA2 is going to do a lot of damage if you are able to get off all the hits, which more often than not you should be able to do. So in that case, for our very first run, a 1 minute and 43 second clear time, obviously super slow, but we won't go for a fast one, so let's try again. So jumping into our second run then, one thing I would say about the SA2, while I do like it, it might not be the best strong attack for like trying to go for speedruns. Mainly because it doesn't have the same back distance that a normal SA2 does have. But again, despite it having a shortcoming of only being like an AoE in front of her, you can always prepare for it, right? You can see the AoE itself when you do the initial attack. And what I do like about it is that because it has such a high damage threshold with that SA2, I like that there's no added cooldown. Like, there's no negative to this SA2. The only negative to a certain extent is that you kind of are left wide open and you can get hit while doing that SA2 since you don't have the best invincibility frames. But you can always prepare around that, right? Whenever we do see these like gimmick attacks or some type of specialty on attack, it always has added cooldown to it. And in some cases, it maybe makes it worse than a normal strong attack. But in her case, with that SA2, I don't think there's any drawbacks to it. At worst, it performs like a normal 960. At best, it can be a massive damage dealer for those types of content that need it, like epic raids and also guild quests. In that case though, a 45-second clear time, which is quite respectable. Not the fastest out there, but definitely on the faster sides. And when we take it into comp, which you are about to see in a minute, I do like that despite her never basically having killer only against bosses, she is always going to have that increased chance to inflict stat ailments, get that SP boost, and of course go through Iron Skin. Thus far, solid performance. Alright then, so jumping into Ultra IT, let's use our SA1, already getting the SP boost, you love to see it. Let's go here, use our SA3. Like, damage is not a problem, like, despite us not having killer here, we're able to do a lot of damage. SA2, as you can see there, actually was able to finish up one wave and then go into the second wave and also kill it, which I think is kind of cool. We are going to take it quite slow in this particular run. I want to more so test the SA2. Since it is the first time we are seeing it, you can kind of see an example there of the enemy getting out of the radius and therefore we didn't actually hit the enemy. But we go here, use it there. That's kind of cool. I'm liking it. I think the only problem, again, as already stated, is going to be the invincibility frames. We have to be a tad bit careful when doing it against the bosses, but luckily every wave or every boss room does have one boss in particular that charges up the attack. So they're going to be a very easy pick for us to go against. The Aaroniero in particular might be the more annoying one. We'll find out though, right? The SA2 is ready, so let's go here. It actually did, you know what? So we cancel out of it, right? We're trying to play it super safe, but it did do a respect amount of damage. If anything, I want to try that SA2 against the Uri when he's actually charging an attack. Like now, for example. So, boom. Look at that. I mean, have you ever seen a 1 out of 5 character without killer kill a single boss with one strong attack? I don't think so. That might be the first time we've ever seen it. That was actually kind of cool. So, I guess you have to be a tad bit careful against the bosses that don't have the charge attack, because they actually can attack you. In this case, the next room, it will be Jackie. So, let's go here. Straight into that. Wow. SA1 did a good amount of damage there. Unfortunately, I have died. We're going to revive, though, because I want to keep testing this SA2. Looks like it did 25k per hit against the Yuko, and that is when we actually inflicted a stat ailment, so that's actually quite good. Unfortunately, I will say this character does rely on being at full stamina, but doesn't have any built-in ways to heal herself. Let's see if we can do this. Go up here, SA2. I mean, you can still be cancelled out of it, but that is a good thing that you can cancel out of it, because we were able to still do a good amount of damage, even though we didn't, like, stick through the entire SA2. We might have cancelled out more than halfway, and it was able to do its job. So even if you do cancel out of the SA2, as long as you get maybe more than 2 hits in, it's more than a normal strong attack. But it is a bit risky, I will say. It is a bit risky. But the more you play with this character, the more you learn the layout of each map, you'll be able to get by. You can easily get over those shortcomings by just simply getting good. It's the best way to say it. In that case, though, 1 out of 5 showcase, 2 minute and 13-second clear time. In Ultra IT, it's respectable, but that wasn't even our fastest clear time. We can definitely get faster than that. Let's try that once more. So attempt number 2, let's try this again and see if we can actually clear faster, right? We're going to go here, use our SA3. We're not going to tie ourselves behind using only the SA2. Luckily, constantly inflicting stats, which is what you love to see. Let's go ahead and just use the SA1. Surprisingly, didn't actually kill. But you know what? The SA2's got me. There we go. I think our clear time will be, for the most part, quite consistent, but it's also locked behind actually inflicting stat ailments. My voice kind of went there. There we go. SA3. Going into this. I actually like using the SA1. If the SA1 doesn't kill, it does group up the enemies, and that's when you can actually take full advantage of that SA2. So a kit kind of works well together. Might as well go here, use the SA3. Go in, use the SA2. And look at that. To be fair, Aaroniero couldn't even kill us before she got to us. So even in the case where bosses can actually get close to you, you position yourself well, they might not even get a chance to attack you. SA3 right there felt really good. Let's use the SA2 into the 1. There we go. Our Nadstring can even do a respect amount of damage since it does actually inflict the stat ailment. SA2 on Yukio. Unfortunately, did get hit. There is always going to be that risk factor. But let's see what the clear time is going to like, even though we take a hit. Because, you know, not every room you use BAMBIETTA, you're going to take no damage, right? There are times where you are going to get hit. Let's use the SA2 there. In that case, it did a good amount of damage, to be fair, because it did inflict the stat ailment. Our Sword Bomb, as always, regardless of a full stamina or not, is also going to do a respectable amount of damage. So that was going to be my last attempt in IT, but I do want to try and get a perfect run. But I do also like to showcase at times, you know, not every run is going to be perfect. You are going to take damage. And in that case, a bit faster, 1 minute and 50 seconds. All right then, so attempt number 3, let's try that once more. Guaranteed to inflict stat ailments. There we go. SA3, for the most part, does the job there. We're going to get these enemies close to us. Then we use our SA1. Might also use the SA2. Again, the cooldown for it itself is not too long, only 8 seconds. And then SA2 there is going to finish up that wave. I will say, I feel like there's a lot of luring or kiting, I guess, with this character. You want to lead them to a certain area just so you know when the next wave is. And that enemy is probably like the most annoying enemy for someone like BAMBIETTA. Luckily, we inflicted the stars on our nurturing though. Let's get close. SA2. Again, kill the Aaroniero without getting hit whatsoever. And then SA1 and 3 is enough to take out the Uryu. There you go. Absolutely lovely. Gonna use my SA1 on these lot. Into the 3. And then SA2. I don't think it hit Jackie. It didn't. It's fine though. Because remember, if we do actually inflict the status element, the status element itself also does a respective amount of damage, right? Burn itself does damage over time. And then in this case, let's just use the SA1 just to get into that next wave. Let's Soul Bomb. We should be able to nuke all the way through. Maybe even without even damaging the first wave. Let's find out though. Soul Bomb didn't go all the way through. But you know what? It did almost kill. Those enemies without Killer had just a tiny bit of HP left. And that run felt a lot better. I won 39. Very similar to Killgate, actually. Killgate is another insane character that we did showcase earlier today. And I think he maybe got like 20 or so seconds faster, which is understandable. Killgate has a better kit. But Killgate, I will say, is a lot more safer to play with. This character, in a way, from my 3 runs that we did do, felt more high risk, high reward kind of thing. That SA2 has some really good capabilities and potential, but at the same time, you're also open to attacks. I think the SA2 right now is in the starting phase. Ways to actually make this SA2 better is to have poise built into the character, and maybe also have drain, so you can easily get back up to full stamina in the potential chance you do actually get hit. So the SA2 is definitely something that I'm looking forward to seeing come back in the future, because Caleb definitely can perfect it. Right now, it's kind of like in its starting phase, but I'm liking it thus far. Next up, we're going to try out in the Awakened Epic Raid, where we have just a bunch of Bambies joining us, right? Remember, she is a bonus, so we are getting that 2 times damage output. The boss itself does have 15 million HP. For the pets, we've given 60% Berserker and also 60% full stamina. These are the accessories, and then these are the links. This is actually my first time using an Epic Raid, so I have no idea how fast these runs are going to be, but I expect him to go fast because she also does have Killer, right? So let's go up here. There we go. Hopefully, I mean, look at the damage already. Hold on. No one's even used the Soul Bomb yet. And we're already into almost the second phase. Let me actually do that. Let me use my Soul Bomb. There we go. SA2. Look at that. Look at that. 15 million HP, by the way. Yo, these are so fast. Look at that. Bro, what? Like 18-second clear time. That SA2 is... This is where, like, the SA2 is best demonstrated. And keep in mind, for those that are watching this maybe in the future, this is her at her best. She's a bonus. She has Killer. That's not always going to happen, but the SA2 definitely can do a lot of damage. Look at that, 17-second run. With Killgate, for the record, and keep in mind, that is worse because he doesn't get the Rampage skill, we were getting like 30 to 50-second runs. In our first attempt, 17 seconds? Wow. Wow. You know, there's what? You know, if you are like a massive BAMBIETTA fan, what you can always do, remember, is have the Momo link. If you have access to the Momo link, you can actually farm links or potions in Epic Raids using Bambi as a farmer. And at that point, of course, you're getting less potions. But at the very least, you get to use a fun character, maybe your favorite, for example, and still get the bonus spots. Because that's what I'm going to be doing when like someone like Esna or Giselle come out. I don't care if they're not a Link's or character. If I have the Link's or link, I'm putting it on them and I'm using them as a Link's or character. And shout out to that lad. I should probably turn these off when recording. But let's go back into it. Alrighty, here we go. So I'm going to Soul Bomb it straight away. I want to be the one to get off the weakened defense. And I want to use that SA2. There we go. SA2. Look at that. We're 4 seconds in. We've almost done 25 million damage in 4 seconds. It's still going. The attack's still going. Hold on. Ayo. If someone has weakened defense, this is going to be insane. Well, actually, hold on. There's someone's kind of funny when it glitches there. How? What? Yo! I forgot to, because she has weakened defense built in. So every Soul Bomb has weakened defense. But those that T20 are, you can give a double weakened defense, right? But look at that. I guess if you do use that SA2, maybe when the phase is about to go into the next one, depending on how quick that phase starts, the new one, the attack's still going off. So in that run, look at that. 15 million damage in 10 seconds. Bambi right now, I would like to think, is like the queen of single enemy bosses in a way. Getting epic raids of the place, she's going to shine, and even guild quests when we can showcase her in the range captain guild quests. So overall, lads, that was the video for today, trying out the new BAMBIETTA. Honestly, I like the idea of the character. While I do think Yatri was a great addition for the Captain Killer guild quests, again, we still need more support for that, right? We just don't need one character. It's nice to have options. Maybe you didn't get Yatri, and maybe you got BAMBIETTA. Maybe you don't have BAMBIETTA, but you have Yatri. Well, that's perfectly fine. Options are always nice. Personally, I really enjoyed her gameplay. bit of a high risk, high reward character. That SA2, I think, is a good addition, and I would like to see it more. It's really good in epic grade content, as we just demonstrated. It should be good in Guild Quest content, where she again is designed for. So overall, just a very solid character, and I will say I just like the idea that this character does exist. It's a base from BAMBIETTA. I know to everyone, base from characters aren't the most exciting, but you know what, if we're going to get base from Soripers and base from Arankas, then I'd say we deserve some base from Quincy's. And visually, despite them being very limited on what they could do with her, I feel like they did a good job. And I'm looking forward to the eventual Volstandig form of Bambi whenever KLF starts to release Season 2 characters. So you Bambi fans are in for an absolute treat. You already got like a really good Bambi now. Can you imagine what Bambi we are going to get next year in a Volstandig form? But yeah, overall, great character. Let me know what you like to know about the character in the comments below, and let me know how you feel about the SA2. I personally think it's quite good. I'm curious to know what you think. Until next time, take care and peace.